Hey guys, I'm Aimbot, and I cut out the earlier part of this gameplay because felt like it was a little bit boring and not really that entertaining. So, uh, yeah, not really any other reason besides that. Also, I feel like a 4-minute video to me is like kind of the perfect, talking time. So it kind of came out perfectly, and the gameplay is a little bit more exciting. So win-win. But what I was going to talk to you guys today about was being aggressive on Ghost. Because I feel like on the previous Call of Duties, it might just be that the game's still fairly new, so maybe not that adjusted to it. But it feels like that you can only be aggressive on a handful of maps. And like, obviously the map I'm playing, because you can see I'm playing pretty aggressively in this, rushing spawn, running right at him. Another example of it would be Prison Break, Freight to a certain example, but in some case scenarios you can't. But you can't really be that aggressive, I feel like, on, some of these other maps, especially the ones that have a bunch of layers to the map, have a bunch of windows. Like, I feel like you're always constantly running around, but, usually those end in you just getting shot in the back or from a window or from whatever. And it seems like if you really want to do well in this game, or you want to, um, score well or hit clips or whatever it is you want to do to accomplish in the game, you really kind of have to, get to, like, on most of the maps, get to the center of the map, hold a part of the map, and let them come to you, play a little bit more aggressive, duck in and out of cover, and, that was never really my play style in playing Call of Duty, because I was always just more of, like, balls to the walls, just going to rush the other team's spawn and just get as many kills as I possibly can. And it feels like that, obviously, you can't do that on every map. Like Strike Zone, I mentioned all the maps earlier that I thought you could do that on, but it just seems like the vast majority of this game is suited more towards being more methodical about the way you play. And part of that reason is that I feel like it was designed with a lot of layers in mind. Like Strike Zone, I feel like is the best map example of the way the game should have been designed. It should have been designed in a way where there was only one layer. You didn't have like a second and third story building, like, and not just that, you didn't have 20 of them on a map. I feel like in that sense it's a lot more similar to Battlefield. And I'm not talking about just like the map size. I'm talking about just in general the way the maps are designed. Because if you notice, the maps that actually work out the best are the ones with the least buildings. Like uh, Prison Break, for example. Prison Break is actually a really big map, but there's not a whole bunch of buildings for people to climb up into. And I feel like it makes the gameplay a little bit more predictable, and you know where the enemy is, so you can obviously find the fucker. Like, whereas in all these other people, you're constantly looking, because you got building upon building, and also on top of that, the maps are so massive that it doesn't make for good gameplay. I really don't think it makes for good gameplay at all. I feel like Strike Zone is a really good gameplay map. Boot Camp was a good gameplay map, and I think that in the future that what they should do with the DLC is they should just make them, one layer maps that are gonna play and flow well. Do you guys agree, or do you guys disagree? So yeah, I guess I'll talk to you guys later, and peace, man.